It's knowing your man and or knowing your woman. And as far as the man goes, um, he has to understand that. Well, first of all, I would say this: I don't. You might have to direct it to another kind of dude. Me, I'm sensitive. I'm sensitive because I feel that when the woman says a man doesn't communicate, he doesn't share his feelings, well, a lot of times he does it because when he tried to do that, he was shot down, or the response he got wasn't really the response he wanted. As opposed to being able to communicate to that woman by knowing yourself about communicating that in a way that's going to be receptive of her, for her to understand where he's coming from. If I'm making it, I don't know if I'm making any sense.
Yeah, it does. I'm processing and thinking because, as you said, that one statement, it's not, women approach it from how we would want to be approached about an emotion. And I feel like it's a big learning opportunity for myself to think about, okay, this is how I want it, but I got to figure out how it would be best to do this for this man who thinks and operates differently than I think and operate.
Absolutely.
And I think that is probably a big opportunity to expand on that. And so my next question is, how do you set the environment? How do you set the place as a woman, or what advice would you give to a woman who is trying to allow this space between them for him to be open and vulnerable? Is it a matter of allowing him to know that you can trust him, or there's things that she can do, or if you have any? Because that, I mean, to me, because you said that, my first thing is like, okay, if I am dealing with a man who is not very emotionally available, and it may be because he's got scars from when he was from other people.
Absolutely.
How do I allow him to get comfortable enough with me to say, I'm safe? You know, I'm not going to look at you differently if you break down and cry because this hurts you. I'm not going to look at you differently if I see that this makes you emotional. I don't know as a woman how to approach a man to say, hey, I'm safe, other than me saying it.
I think in a lot of relationships, people first have to understand you can't bring your baggage to a relationship with a woman that's not the woman that caused those scars. You have to come to terms within yourself. I'm not going to make them pay for what someone else did to me. You also have to understand is, if you're going to go into this relationship, what are you going into this relationship for? What's your end game of the relationship? So it starts with the man first, of how you're going to move forward. Now, some guys going, well, I'm going to keep this wall up and whatever, whatever. So now you're making it more difficult for the person that's trying to get to know you. So first he has to deal with that. So that's first. And once he make a decision that, okay, I'm not going to live in fear. I'm not going to let this painful situation change me for who I want to be for me and or with someone else. I would say that, first of all, when you ask me that question, my first thought is, well, first of all, is that woman really that way? Is she really about pouring into her man? Is she really about, I'm trying to make him the best him he can be? And a lot of women aren't wired like that.